Hi, John Walker from Lacat TV, and today we're talking cars. Well, we're talking one car. We're not talking about all cars. We're talking about one car, and that's the Tesla Model 3. Because you see, I rented a Tesla Model 3 twice. Had to rent it twice to get this video even halfway decent. Because the first time, probably a little overwhelmed with the Tesla, all the specs it could do, everything the Tesla could do. But this time, the second time I ran it, able to get a little more video footage. So we're going to talk about the Tesla Model 3. And I ran the Tesla Model 3 because I was doing a road trip. That's right. Doing a road trip from Virginia Beach, Virginia, to Long Island, New York, up around the Freeport area where my brother lives. His daughter was getting married, and we were driving up for the wedding. And I thought, boy, this will be an excellent chance to put the Tesla Model 3 through its paces. So I went online, I went to Hertz.com, and I was able to get it for a very decent rate for the week. I was shocked. It was less than $300. I believe it was less than $200, or very close to that, to rent a Tesla Model 3 for the whole week. And I recently looked because getting ready to do another road trip and couldn't even find a price close to the previous prices. So evidently, they gone up. Well, Hertz in our area has stopped renting the Model 3s at all, the Tesla. I saw in the news, and maybe you did too, that the cost of maintenance, that's right, let me repeat it. According to Hertz, the cost of maintenance for the Tesla Model 3 was extremely high compared to the other vehicles in their fleet. So they pulled back on renting the Tesla Model 3s. In fact, they're unloading a lot of their Tesla Model 3s, and you can buy the used ones at a pretty decent price. I might consider that here shortly. Well, here we go on. I had to slow the video down a little bit. But now we're going to look at the inside first. We're going to look at the inside of the vehicle and see just what it has, all the features inside before we drive off. This is the inside of the Tesla, what the screen looks like. You can see you can have the map come up. If you touch the map, you can enter where you're going. It will calculate your directions. It will also calculate where you need to stop and recharge. Temperature setting, it brings up your temperature. And of course, you can take it out of the auto and make it manual as well, but that's how you change your temperature settings. And then it goes away and comes back to your screen. You also have some pre-manual if you want to know how to use the wiper setting. You have also the radio settings. You have the camera setting where you can see the camera. You also have the a view to record a shot of what's around you. You can take a video of that. Then you have your music. If you connect to premium, if you touch here, you get a list of other settings. You can have, of course, your telephone. You can have your calendar, messages, Zoom, and so on. I'll let you just read those on your own. Settings you can have through the screen on the Tesla 3. And the final button, you can connect to Wi-Fi and download the update. For example, there is an update to add the Hebrew language to the auto section. If you press the auto button, you see this screen, and it shows you all your settings you can set up. One interesting setting on this rental is the autopilot. And on the autopilot, you don't have full autopilot, but you do not have the auto steer beta. The auto steer beta will steer the car and keep it in the lane so you can relax a little bit. It will also keep it at the proper speed. So it's also a cruise control as well. So that's the auto beta. The other screen, you can open the trunks from inside using the screen, or you can also use your phone. The app on this car, let me correct myself, this car allowed me to use the app on my phone to start and unlock the car and so forth. And then up above you see your battery say 97%. Of course, it is draining a little bit because I'm sitting here and it's keeping the car at the proper temperature. So that's pretty much the inside, although I'll come over here to the steering wheel. These buttons can be used to adjust your volume. It can be used to adjust your speed. This button, the right button. They also are used to adjust your mirrors, as well as the steering wheel can come in and out. So those are what those buttons on the wheel are. You have your normal knobs for your turn signals, and you have your knob for park and drive. Well, now let's talk that subject that people always talk about. What happens if you run out of juice, your battery? Yes, we're talking charging your Tesla. On the trip up, I actually charged 2 times. Now, the first charge was at a mall, and I was sort of nice that it was time to charge because from all the packing up and down 3 flights of stairs, loading up the car, I was a little tired. I could use a short nap. So when I pulled up to charge, I let the Tesla charge up, took a nap. I took about a 15-minute nap, 20 minutes, woke up, the car was ready to go, so done charging. So that worked out well for me. Now the second charge is what I'm showing you on the video. That's when we were on the Jersey Turnpike and it was time to do a second charge. And this one works out well too, because it was time for a pit stop, time to hit the restroom, time to eat a little lunch, time to get something to drink and a snack. So wasn't bad for Chris and I. So the interesting thing too, when you're charging a Tesla, you can leave it charged, then you can go do your stuff and it's just charging. People can't unplug it while it's charging. It's locked in. So that's pretty cool that you can leave your car, go get your drinks, go to the bathroom, do what you gotta do, and they'll charge while you're gone. So that's what we did. So watch this video on the second charge. Okay, this is the Tesla refill station. And here we are, there's one other driver here. We're actually at a rest stop for trucks and cars. We're on the New Jersey Turnpike. Just give you an idea where we're at, where they put this Tesla refill. If you count them, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places you can charge your car. We have a rental. So here's the question let me ask all through this video. Should we buy a Tesla? Well, let's look at what the screen's showing us. First, it shows you have enough charge to continue the trip, 140 miles. It's going to take 30 minutes to fully charge, so you may not want to wait. And we added 115 miles since we got there. It's a 55 kilowatts, and we're charging at 269 miles an hour. But the important thing to remember, you could go ahead and leave, and you have enough miles to get to where you're going, and you have enough miles to get to another charging station. Okay, this Tesla bank a little bit full. There's our car, so let's go. Okay, here's something Tesla would tell you. Tells you how much of a charge remaining before you can hit the road again. So you see 2 minutes, 189 miles, and I think I have 145 miles to go to my next exit. So that's sort of neat. 2 minutes left, and I got enough of a charge. I'll be 190 miles. Okay, here's my wrap up on my charge experience. One, charging really was no big deal for us. Typically, when you're traveling, every 2-3 hours, we like to take a little break, hit the restroom, maybe get a snack. Sometimes I even like to take a little nap on the road because it seems I get tired as soon as I start driving after all the effort to load the car, pack everything in. Maybe I should do that the night before. But charging really was no big deal. I also charged in New York City, it was actually Long Island, a couple places. One, there was nobody there. It was farther out on the island, past Jones Beach, if you watch my Jones Beach video. Second time was at a mall. And the mall, the Sunday we went, the Sunday evening, it was a little crowded. We had to wait a moment to get a spot to charge. And I suspect that's because people who charge at the mall, they don't have a house. Maybe they live in an apartment or condo, so they don't have a place to charge in their apartment or condo. But if you're a single family owner, own your own house, or have your own house, or rent your own house, or if you have a condo that's more like ours, like a townhouse, you don't have to worry, you'll be charging at home. In the second rental we had, the Hertz did include the home charger, which charges off 120. But let me tell you, that's slow. That's slow. You might charge 6 miles in an hour. So you figure 6 miles in 10 hours, you might charge 60 miles. But that would be enough for me to go back and forth to work. My work is not that far. My work is only 12 miles round trip. So you figure in 5 days, I gone 60 miles if I don't double. So I could easily charge at home on the 120 charger for just going back and forth to work. And finally, what I would probably do if I buy a Tesla or buy any electric vehicle, I would put in the 220 or the 240. It's actually 240 volt charger at home, which is half the charge rate of the supercharger, of the Tesla supercharger. But in review, charging was really no big deal. It wasn't like people expect. There's plenty of chargers on the route I took from Virginia Beach to Norfolk. Most people, I heard now, 50% of the population have a charger or a supercharger within their area. So that's pretty good that 50% of the population in the United States now has a supercharger. So that's my take on charging. Once again, not a big deal, not a deal breaker. An interesting thing that happens when you depart the lane too many times without signaling, they turn off your lane departure avoidance features until you really stop the car and then restart it. I thought that's strange. Why not just keep it on and ask you if you want it turned off? One thing about the Tesla Model 3, I have it in auto steer. And auto steer works good for keeping you in the road. But what I've found, and we have a question I don't like, is when an object crosses in front of you. Typically, when you're seeing a car cross in front, you know that it's going to the other side. But the Model 3, the Tesla will brake very hard. And the question is, does it know the cars behind it? Because there's really no need for it to brake hard. That's the one thing I see they need to fix on these Teslas. Now we're almost back crossing the Chesapeake Bay Bridge in Virginia. And here's just the mapping. Once again, I use the map a lot for directions. It's taking me back to work. But before I conclude and give you my final overview on Tesla, let me show you something. And this really shocked me. Yeah, you see that huge crack? That's in the sunroof. Now, Hertz, when they rented it to me, they knew it was there. And I just say, shame on you, Hertz. But it really alerted me to a problem. Wow, what if that happened to your Tesla? What would be the repair cost to replace that sunroof? I'm sure it would be high. Well, here's my review, my wrap-up of renting and driving the Tesla Model 3. Let me first say, it's really a model of technology, wonder. They really pack a lot into this. And I think the competitors are going to be chasing Tesla for a long time. Quick review, let's go through the major areas. Charging. I told you charging was no big deal. In fact, I think when you charge your Tesla at home, it becomes a convenience. You no longer have to worry about making a pit stop on the way home. Pull in your garage, pull in your driveway, you charge your Tesla. But if you live in an apartment building, maybe a condominium, you might have to always be using a supercharger. Now you're a lot more closer to being related to a gas vehicle. Let's talk about driving. It drives well, had a little more road noise than I thought, but it handles well. Acceleration. This baby can put you back in your seat. Yeah, when you step on the pedal, it doesn't really have a pedal, but it's there. But it's not the pedal like you think. It can move. It has excellent acceleration. So driving was fun. It was fun to drive the Tesla. I enjoyed driving it. I enjoyed all the conveniences that are on it. I enjoy the fact that you can hop in your car and it'll be cool in the summer if you want, or warm in the winter. You can tell it to warm up before you get in, but a lot of modern cars can do it. So driving, I would give it a thumbs up. Well, the question is, will I buy a Tesla? You might say, will I buy an EV for that point? A Tesla, probably no, not at this point. I need to continue to do some investigation. I need to really look at what is the cost of operating the Tesla. That's the question. What's the cost of insurance and what's the cost of operation compared to a gasoline vehicle, a similar vehicle? If the cost is less for a Tesla, yes, I'd be inclined to buy a Tesla or another EV. Sad to say, I waited to put this video out, and now the sad part is Tesla got a lot of bad press. I'm sure this is going to blow over, and Teslas will be okay to drive, and you won't have to worry about the vandalism issue. But that is something to think about. This has been John Walker for Lakat TV. Thank you for watching the video, and if you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You'll find that we feature on this channel videos about travel, technology, and cooking. So those are the three things, and usually cooking has a technological bent as well. So once again, John Walker, Lakat TV, thank you for watching.